What's up, guys? So we just had a new update and some units did get nerfed, so I just want to make an update, guys, on my 7-star tier list. So let me know down below what you guys think of my tier list, and let's get it started. One last thing before we hop into it, let me know, guys, do you want me to make my co-unit a 7-star with a level requirement or a 6-star with no level requirement? And remember, guys, you must be subscribed to get my co-unit Toru, so make sure you guys smash that subscribe button. Co-unit dropping soon. I'll also be showcasing all of the different 7-stars, so that way my opinions are as accurate as possible with all the nerfs. First up, guys, we have a unit. He's now unfortunately unobtainable because of the star pass. We have Naruto and Sasuke fusion into Kurama. Now, they did nerf Kurama a while back, basically meaning that he's no longer good for like story modes and stuff. This used to be way higher. All right, and so we're gonna go crack him out real quick. Now, you're gonna notice one thing about Kurama, and that is he is super expensive. In fact, I believe he's still the most expensive unit in the game. Look at this, guys, a $5 million upgrade. That is insane. However, look at his damage. His damage is definitely one of the highest ever, and this is with no buff. So definitely one of the highest DPSs in the game. All right, with a 6-second SPA and not the worst cone. I mean, circle AoE. Overall, guys, he is a great unit to have on your team. However, I think there is better 7-stars right now. So we're going to have to put him, I'd say probably solidly B tier. All right, he is average for a 7-star. Now, remember, guys, for this tier list, they're going to be ranked based on 7-stars. All right, obviously, guys, 7-stars in general are A or S tier, right? Come on, they're 7-stars. But this is when ranking against each other, how good are all the 7-stars? All right, so next up, guys, we have this one right here. We have Sasuke. Now, Sasuke, you can use him as part of Kurama, but the nice thing about Sasuke is he's decent for raids. All right, so you can place him down fairly easily with this, like after a couple wave skips. And look at this Black Flames effect is what makes him special. All right, what Black Flames does is deals damage 21 times over 40 seconds. You have to multiply his damage by 21, which means he's doing over 100,000 damage, guys, with the 8 SPA. That is pretty freaking busted. I also like to use him on last, though, usually because you don't want him to double hit because his Black Flames effect does not stack. All right, now another great thing about him is he is actually an air unit from the jump, so he's very good for any air mode. If you're doing any air mode basically whatsoever, I definitely recommend you put Sasuke on your team. He's going to be a great asset. So honestly, guys, I'm going to have to give him A tier. The only reason, guys, we're not putting him in S tier is he's not meta for every single mode. If you're doing like regular infinite mode, don't bring Sasuke. All right, so he's A tier, but he's decent for raids as well. Next up, guys, we have Naruto, the other part of Kurama. All right, so the nice thing about Naruto is he's really good for raids. All right, he only costs $400 to place down, which is actually really insanely cheap. And you can see he's a really good for raids. So he's doing 600k damage, guys, in raids with no buff. That's freaking busted OP. All right, and then you throw on a Irwin buff or a Brook buff or a Metallic King glitch buff, and guess what? You're doing 1.8 million damage. That is freaking insane. So very good for raids. The only problem with him, guys, is 2 million damage with 7 SP at max level is not very good for infinite DPS, as well as, yeah. So I don't recommend him if you're doing infinite mode unless you have him as part of Kurama. So for that reason, guys, we're going to have to give him A tier as well. All right, A tier because he's better than Kurama for raids, but he's just as good as Kurama for infinite mode. All right. So next up, guys, we have Broly. Now, the problem with Broly, guys, is he has been getting nerfed lately. So I'm going to show you guys what his damage is right now. All right, look at this, guys, 31 million damage. So they nerfed him slightly. Now, because of his super high SPA, he's not that great of a unit. All right, his DPS is actually quite low. The only saving grace he has, guys, is he is a hybrid unit. All right, and he also hits airs. I'll show you his effect. There's his effect. All right, it's really clean. All right, he does good damage. However, he's no longer the highest DPS. If we take a look, guys, at DPS units, he's at 1.1 million DPS. He is full AoE, though, and he does hit airs all the time. All right, next up, guys, we have Ichigo. All right, so Ichigo, he's pretty busted. Now, the problem with him is he does have this nice AoE upgrade. All right, we'll take it, right? But he has this nice slash upgrade, which is very good as well. You can see this upgrade itself is basically almost as good as Broly. It's like really close. And then you get this upgrade on top of it. Now he is better than Broly. Look at this, guys, 24 million 8 SPA versus 31 million 16 SPA. He's doing 50% more damage. All right, and that is true. If we look at the wiki, guys, you can see 1.13 versus 1.5. All right, now the only problem is he does have this upgrade. All right, what this upgrade does is it makes his AoE wider. All right, however, he now only hits air units. All right, he doesn't hit ground units anymore, so watch out for that ability, guys. All right, you might accidentally screw yourself over. Now, I don't know how to change him back, unfortunately. So I don't know if you like press it again and he changes back. But yeah, you can press it again and he changes back, so we can now hit grounds again. All right. So all of that puts, I would say, Broly is solid high A tier. Then I think we have to put Ichigo in the S tier, guys, because his DPS is so much higher than Broly's. It's freaking insane. All right, next up, guys, and plus you can just use him in air mode as well, because in air mode there's now only air units. So Ichigo is now meta for air mode too. And the other nice thing about Ichigo, guys, is if we sell him, look at this, guys, on placement for only $500, he is doing 39,000 damage with no orb and no leader buff. So he's doing over 100,000 damage, guys, with leader buff and fire rage orb in raids. That's insane. That's literally up there with Sasuke. All right, next up, guys, we have Diavolo. All right, Diavolo is another great unit to have in your team. All right, Diavolo, not only is he a good bleed unit, all right, if we take a look at his max bleed, so you can maybe use him as a combo with Nezuko if you really wanted to. All right, that wouldn't be the greatest, but 2.78 million DPS, guys, on bleed, and bleed hits 5 extra times, so it's more like 10 million for 5 SBS, because bleed lasts 8 seconds. Yeah, so it's more like 8 million. So really for 5 SP, it's insane, guys. His DPS is literally busted. All right, highly recommend you use him, and his ability is pretty OP as well. It's like law but times 3, and then throw Dio on top of it. It's literally busted OP. All right, I definitely recommend you have this guy on any leaderboard team you have ever, and plus his effect looks so cool. So because of that, guys, we have to drop him in the S tier. Next up, guys, we have Gohan. Now, guys, I don't actually have Gohan, so I'm gonna have to just tell you based what I know. They did actually nerf him fairly recently. All right, so I don't think he definitely has way lower DPS than Ichigo, so I'm gonna have to drop him in high A tier. He has slightly more DPS than Broly, but Broly does have that full AoE, so it's your pick between Gohan and Broly. They're pretty similar. All right, next up, guys, we have Zoro. Like, guys, I'm sorry, but Zoro is trash. Like, please do not get Zoro. He is like one of the worst bleed units in the game. They need to buff him or something, like make him full AoE or something, because he's trash. All right, he's unobtainable right now, and I don't ever recommend you get him. He's literally just straight trash. All right, next up, guys, we have Metal Freezer, or Metal Cooler, I should say. All right, the nice thing about Metal Cooler is he's actually decent in every mode. All right, and he actually works with the water orb, so it makes him even better in story mode. So he's really cheap for story, and he basically slaps almost any enemy with his self-clone ability. So for every path, it spawns another one as well. So it's really good for multi-path maps. That's what he's best in, as well as he's not bad for infinite as well, and he's really good for world 3 story. He's meta for that, so he's a very good unit, guys. He's the only raid unit I'm gonna put in the S tier. You really want to have this guy if you're doing any single raid, and I'm kind of honestly surprised that they haven't nerfed him yet. All right, next up, guys, we have let's switch my loadout real quick. All right, next up, guys, we have Cell. Now Cell, you get him for free from the battle road. Now Cell is mainly I would say like a raid mode unit, maybe an infinite mode unit if you really want to. All right, so we'll just go speed run him a little bit. He's not the greatest, so bang. All right, you can see he's actually not too bad for raid mode. You could maybe get away with him. He's also nature, so if you want to use him in the hell raid, you definitely could definitely do that, guys. But he's not gonna be the greatest. All right, you see, like, look at his damage, man. It's so low and he's max level. I don't understand why he's this bad. Now you could use him in infinite mode, but like, look at this, guys. It's not the greatest in the world, man. I ain't gonna lie. All right, but it's not terrible either. All right, it's like mid. All right, he's just not the greatest, and he is a ground unit, guys, so he's not even a hybrid. So you can maybe use him for infinite mode, but you're not gonna be getting leaderboards. So we're gonna, for that reason, guys, I think he might even be worse than Zoro. I'm probably gonna give him D tier, guys. He's probably the worst 7-star on this list. All right, next up, guys, we have Blue Vegeta. All right, now Blue Vegeta is cool because you can also use him in raid mode. He's really good. So this upgrade right here, guys, you can easily afford in raid mode right here. And look at that, guys. He's doing 1 million damage in raid mode with no buff. So you can easily have him be doing 3 million damage in raid mode, especially if it's a fire raid mode like the Sinjin raid. He's freaking slapping, man. That's 9 million damage per hit with max buff, etc. And he only costs 90k. So he's really good for raid mode. And then we have this upgrade right here, guys, which makes him cracked out for even infinite mode as well. It pretty much puts him up there with Broly, guys, as one of the best DPSs in the game. So he's good for infinite mode as well as raid mode. And so for that reason, all right, bang, and look at that. Oh my gosh, that looks sick. For that reason, guys, I'm going to recommend him above all of these units, guys. I'm going to put him low S tier, all right? So I definitely would recommend him over like a Broly, but I don't know if I would recommend him over Ichigo or Metal Cooler, all right? So easily S tier. So next up, guys, we have Katakuri. Now, Katakuri is a really, really good unit, but he has one fairly massive downside, all right? And that downside is this right here. He only hits ground units. And his other downside is he's not good for raid modes because if you take a look, his starting cost is $10,000, which kind of unfortunately sucks for raid mode because it's really too expensive. But you can easily max him out. He's really cheap to max out as well, and his full AoE etc makes him easily meta for regular infinite mode. Now I don't know if I would bring him for like any infinite mode with airs. I'd probably just stick with Ichigo. But yeah, I definitely think Katakuri is one of the better units, guys. So he's definitely S tier for infinite mode. Next up, guys, we have Princess Apollo. Oh wait, bro, I want to put her back. I don't want to put her in S. Oh my gosh, whatever. I'll change her tier in a second. All right, so Princess Apollo is actually a pretty interesting unit. I would say she's more geared towards story mode. But if you take a look at this, guys. Her damage actually goes hard. And you can see how cheap her upgrades are. Bang, bang, bang. All right, you can easily afford this in raid mode. So she's not expensive at all. She has full AoE, and she has this ability, guys, Touch of Grace. What Touch of Grace does, it doesn't remove cloners. All right, it removes powerfuls, decelerates, etc., but not cloners. So it's pretty decent overall, and it's good at removing steadfast. All right, that's the key. So she's meta for story mode. Now she's actually not that bad as well, guys, for infinite mode. Like, look at that, guys, 2.82 million with 5 SPA. But the only downside, guys, is you can actually only place 4 of her. All right, you see? So that is a big nerf she kind of has to make her not super OP. But if it wasn't for that, she would be meta for infinite mode as well. But she's honestly like not even bad for infinite mode. I would definitely put her up there. All right, I would probably put her up there, a little bit worse than Vegeta for infinite mode. So I'm gonna give her solid I'd say A tier, maybe like there. So there you go, guys. There is the rankings for all the 7 stars. Let me know what you think down below.